From the bustling cities of Renaissance Italy to the windswept seas of the Caribbean, Assassin's Creed has taken us to unforgettable journeys through time when it comes to gameplay mechanics, emotionally charged stories, or jaw-dropping recreations of history. So I thought, why not talk about that today, since there's so much toxicity happening in the Assassin's Creed community right now. I think there's some place for positivity. But before we get into it, consider liking and subscribing, because it would really help out the channel and help me hit my goal of 1000 subscribers before Assassin's Creed Shadows releases. So this video is gonna be about what each era of Assassin's Creed does best, because I know there's a lot of different fans of Assassin's Creed, and I see them every day arguing on the internet, so why not give love to both of them? This is Assassin's Creed and what it's given us. Starting off with the Renaissance era, or as you might know it, the Ezio Trilogy. It spans from Assassin's Creed 1 all the way to Assassin's Creed Revelations. It has a lot of things that I can choose as my favorite. It both includes the emotional storytelling of Ezio Auditore and his development as a beloved protagonist that everyone loves until today, and the immersive recreation of Renaissance Italy, both Florence and Venice and Rome and many other places. But if I had to choose one thing that I think this era does best, would be the parkour. Hands down, it has the best parkour in the series. It's freeing, it's nice to see, nice to control, it has very nice animations. If I want to commit suicide by jumping off a building, there's nothing stopping me in these games, and it just feels good to do parkour, and the emphasis on parkour was also great. Unlike in the newer games, you hid from enemies through parkouring away from them. That was your advantage. That's why you were an assassin, because you know how to parkour, you know how to get away from sticky situations. That was what made the Assassin Trilogy unique, the Ezio Trilogy unique. And that is the thing that I think it does best, hands down. Even though it has a lot of other great things, this would be my favorite if I had to choose one. Moving on to my personal favorite era of Assassin's Creed, the Golden Age of Piracy, or as you may know it, the Kenway Saga, Assassin's Creed 3, 4 and Rogue. Honestly, these are some of my favorite games of all time. They are very well made, the characters are deep, interesting, unique. Pirate setting in Black Flag alone is just so amazing that people still love it today. It's so much that Ubisoft wants to remake this one specific game, even though they have 1,000 others to remake. But if I had to choose one thing, it would be the emotional maturity of this part of Assassin's Creed. I love how they twisted the Templar setting and how they made the Templars more deep than they were in the original games, and then they are in the new games. The new games also try to make the Templars more than just the bad guys, but I don't think they succeed on the same level that this era did. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and especially Rogue, made the Templars seem more of a complicated villain that does have a fair few points, but they just happen to disagree with the assassins. And honestly, when it comes to story in Assassin's Creed, I love Ezio as much as the next guy, but I think this era provided some of the best characters, both main characters and side characters, that the series has ever seen. I just love interacting with them, I love seeing their stories, especially the Black Flag characters. I think honestly most of them are amazing, but also 3 and Rogue get some credit, but mainly Black Flag. I think this is a great era for story, and if you love story in Assassin's Creed and you love the complexity between the assassin ideology and the Templar one, this is the era for you. This is what you should play the most. Moving on to the third era of Assassin's Creed, which I like to call the Industrial era. It's the shortest one, it only has 2 games, Unity and Syndicate. I think this era has a lot of things that people overlook. It's not as flashy or as cool as the new era or the previous era before this, but I think it does have a lot of good things about it. Mainly, if I had to choose one thing, it would be the mission design. Characters are not as good as other eras in Assassin's Creed, but the mission design is hands down the best in this era. It has the black box assassination missions, which were introduced in Unity and expanded in Syndicate. They basically are Hitman levels on a smaller scale if you played Hitman. It's interesting, it makes the replayability way better, and it's just fun to go through because stealthing against enemies is more fun this way, and you have a lot more options of replaying. And also, as an honorable mention, the co-op in Unity, that was an amazing idea. I don't know why it didn't come back, but honestly it was a really innovative thing to the series, and I think it does deserve a mention as one of the good things. But like I said, if I had to choose one thing that this era did best, it would be the mission design. There are tailing missions, but not even close to what we had before these games. It does have a lot of interesting mission designs, and that is what I like the most about it. And finally, the most controversial era of Assassin's Creed, the Ancients era, or the Roman era, the RPG era, whatever you want to call it. Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, and I guess kind of Mirage as well, but mainly those three. So this era is the time that Assassin's Creed became the RPG that we know it today. I think it does have some very, very big flaws in it, but also some things that people just seem blind to for some reason, and I don't know why. These games have a lot of good about them, except Valhalla. Valhalla is kind of the ugly stepchild of the series. I honestly don't like that game. I made a lot of videos about why, but it does have some good things, but I honestly don't like it much. So I'm mainly talking about Origins, Odyssey, and Mirage here when I talk about the Ancient Saga. These games are just what made Assassin's Creed into the big RPGs that they are now. 100 hours, 60 hours, the long games, the meaty games where you can build your character and expand the world that you live in. If I had to choose one thing that they do best, it would be making you feel as you are part of this world, as you are small in this ancient place that has a lot of history, a lot of character, and a lot of intrigue, and is just ever expanding. Especially with Odyssey. When I play that game, I feel like the world just doesn't end. I always have a place to go. Yes, the missions and the characters might not be as interesting as, for example, Black Flag, but it is huge, and anywhere you go, you will find something. And I mentioned this in my other videos as well. I do believe that these games have some sort of Ubisoft magic about them that is very similar to what we had in Skyrim. In Skyrim, you can pick a direction, walk there, and you will eventually find a side mission. I feel the same way with Odyssey. Maybe to a lesser degree with Origins and Valhalla, but with Odyssey definitely. If I choose to go one place, I will find something to do there. And there's just so much variety when it comes to mission design and combat and character customization that there is no end to it. I can just replay these games, or I guess one playthrough, but like 1,000 hours, infinitely. That is where the fun comes from in these games, and that's why I like them. And if I had to choose one thing that they do best compared to the other games, it would be this: making you feel small in a world that's big around you and you are just one moving part in it. Also, the characters are very, very fun. I like Bayek and Cassandra very, very much. I think they're funny and nice, and I would love to see them in more games. But like I said, the main thing these games do great is the world. Honestly, I know that people have many, many problems with Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft, but you do have to give credit to Ubisoft on this. Assassin's Creed is a very versatile series. Each game feels different than the rest. Even if not each game, but each era feels different than the rest. And the people who call it the same honestly have never played FIFA or Call of Duty in their lives, because these games feel completely different, especially when you match them one next to another, and I think that's where the strength of Assassin's Creed comes from. It has amazing story, amazing gameplay, amazing world design, and any kind of person that you are, if you like something like characters, I can recommend Assassin's Creed 4 for you. If you like open worlds and RPGs, I can recommend Odyssey. If you like to parkour and show off your skills, I can recommend Revelations. There's something for everyone in Assassin's Creed, and I don't want to be too big of a fanboy, but honestly, I feel like it's not appreciated enough, and I do realize that there's a lot of bad that Ubisoft does, but I think it's also time to just, admit that it does do some things right, and I'm really looking forward for Shadows, but hey, I'm sure that you disagree on many things that I said, so let me know down in the comments, what do you think? What's your favorite era of Assassin's Creed? What's your least favorite? Do you agree with what I said? Do you not agree? Let me know down in the comments. I'm very excited to hear what you have to say. Check out my latest video. It was about Assassin's Creed Shadows and why I'm not worried about that game. If you're interested, all I do is talk about Assassin's Creed, so check out the channel. And as always, do the YouTube things like subscribe, check out my other videos, very much appreciated. And as always, thank you for watching and have a nice day.